advantages of privatization with an example. In Toronto, the transit system, so public transit, which would be the bus, subway, and streetcar, is a private service. I think the government actually made it private. It was with government, and then they switched over to private, I think in the 1970s. And it was fine. It was great. The fares were reasonable. Everything was 100%. And then the 1980s came, and there was in the 1980s there was a boom in the Canadian economy, so wages went up, so everything's fine, no problem. Then 90s came, and there was a bit of a crunch, and then of course when we had the financial crisis, the employees of the transit service demanded a wage hike. It's fine. Problem is that when the Transit Commission said no, they went on strike. And they basically held the entire city hostage. And that's a problem. So right now, to take a bus, and buses are nice, they're very safe, clean, excellent, but to go from point A to point B, it's $3, so that's 300 the equivalent of. And that's expensive for the general population of Toronto. And then to go on strike and hold the city at bay until you get paid. I remember I went to work, and all of a sudden we got news that that's it, Toronto Transit Commission is on strike. You're going to have to find your own way home. You forget calling a taxi, because by the time I thought of it, about 100,000 people already lost it. So taxis were gone. And it took me about, I would say, 6 hours to go 3 or 4 kilometers. And you couldn't walk because it was wintertime. And it was just too cold to walk. So for that main reason, I believe that privatization is definitely a disadvantage to